Hey everyone, welcome back. It's me, the part-time economist, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful, vibrant correlation plot in the R programming language. Now, if you're an expert, if you already know what you're doing, I will put a timestamp so you can jump ahead to the coding. However, I do think it's beneficial to review what a correlation plot is and why you might want to use it. So, correlation, as we know, helps us describe the strength of a relationship between two variables, right? So height and weight is a very common correlation. But let's suppose that we don't want to just do one comparison at a time, right? Maybe we have a data set with 6, 7, 10 different variables, right? And we want to quickly visualize which of these are the most strongly correlated. That is what a correlation plot helps us do, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. We're going to use the Palmer Penguins data set. So let's go ahead and pull that into the workspace. And what you'll notice here is that this contains information about the characteristics of penguins, right? So we have the length of their bill depth, right? How much they weigh, a bunch of different characteristics. But let's suppose that we want to quickly visualize which of these characteristics are the most strongly correlated. Now, what you'll notice with this data set is we have a little bit of a problem here. Correlations work with numeric variables, right? And in this data set, we have some that are factor variables and we have missing values. Now, the purpose of today's tutorial isn't to show you how to clean data. I'm just bringing this up to remind you that if you're getting an error when you're doing this, it could be because you're not using all numeric variables. And what you'll notice here, when I try to do the correlation matrix, it gives me an error and it says, hey, you need to be working with numeric variables. So really quickly, I'm going to fix that with the tidyverse. And again, if you don't know what's going on there, I'm just cleaning up the data set. I'm only selecting the numeric variables. Now that I've done that, what I can do is I can create a matrix of correlations. The way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to create a variable. Again, this can be whatever you want. I'm going to use the assignment operator, and then I'm going to create a correlation matrix. Okay, correlation, that creates the correlation matrix. My penguins is the name of the data set that I'm working with, and then I'm telling it to round to 1 decimal place. So what you'll notice here with that, it just gives us a basic matrix of all of these different correlations, right? Some are positive, some are negative. All of the values are between 1 and -1, obviously, because that's how correlations work. Okay, perfect. Now, how do we actually plot that? How do we visualize that? Well, the package that we're going to be using in today's video is the ggcorrplot. Now, you know, with most of my tutorials, I like doing ggplot, right? I think it's amazing. I think it's fantastic. I don't like using a lot of external packages, but the reason I'm using this one is because it integrates very well with ggplot. We can change the color, we can change everything using ggplot syntax. So the package we are using today is this ggcorrplot. Let's go ahead and pull it into the workspace. Now, let's just start off here with very, very basic. So let's get rid of all this stuff. I'll show you how to make it pretty in a minute. But all we're going to do here, we're calling the ggcorrplot command, and we're passing in the name of that correlation matrix. Notice I'm not passing in the data frame. I'm passing in that matrix of correlations. And what you'll see, just by default, one line of code, it gives us a pretty decent correlation plot. Now, obviously, we can make it a little bit prettier, right? That's one of the beautiful things about ggplot, is that it allows so much customization. So what I'm going to show you is that we can use standard ggplot syntax to spice this up, right? So, you know, when you're doing a ggplot, we can do labs, we can do title, and let's go with penguin, correlation. Okay, that's going to give us a title. Now, also remember that when we're working with this, we can change the theme, right? So let's go with theme, theme. Let's go with element dot, oops, sorry about that. Let's go with plot dot title, and let's go with element underscore text, and let's go with color equals B-L-U-E. Okay, now obviously this isn't going to be the most beautiful, right? You're going to put your own colors. You're going to do the stylistic choices that make sense for you. The only reason I'm going through this is just to really show you that it's compatible with ggplot, right? Again, I'm not going to go over every single function of ggplot customization in today's video. I have tons of other tutorials showing you lots of different customizations you can do in ggplot, right? So I'm really just covering the basics here. But one additional thing that might be very helpful for us is changing the different color scheme in the plot, right? So right now we have blue and red, and I think by default that is really good, right? Blue and red is a lot of a contrast, but maybe you are doing something and it only prints in black and white, right? So you want to do black and white. How can we do that? Well, what we're going to do, we're going to type scale fill underscore continuous, and we need to pass in two different values. So the first is going to be low. Low is what do we want the low values to look like, right? So the negative correlations, the inverse correlations. Let's suppose we want that to be white, W-H-I-T-E, and we want high to be, again, let's just suppose we're going with black and white, right? B-L-A-C-K, right? What you'll notice is going to change that. Now, obviously, we can do a lot more than that. Personally, I would like to see B-L-A-C-K, and I would like to see green, G-R-E-E-N. And what you're going to notice, again, that lime green is the high correlation, the black is the inverse correlation. So, obviously, you can play around with it, you can adjust it, you can do a ton of different things. Again, the point here isn't to give you a comprehensive ggplot tutorial. It's mainly just to show you that, number one, ggcorrplot is an amazing package that can quickly generate these correlation plots. But number two, even though it is an external package, it's still compatible with ggplot syntax. You can still customize, you can still do everything like that. So, as always, I do hope you found the video useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.